No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Good morning, Bronco Nation. Welcome on into a live special edition of Bronco Nation News. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on X, and we are today live at the Taco Bell here on Broadway. Excited to tell you about the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, Taco Bell, and their great breakfast options here throughout the show. We already saw John Mallory over there enjoying his breakfast quesadilla, but some great breakfast options, whether it's the grand toasted breakfast burrito, the breakfast quesadilla, the breakfast crunch wrap, the cheesy toasted breakfast burrito. You see all the great options there at Taco Bell, and they're hiring. We've been telling you about this, but great options if you're looking for a job, promotional opportunities, free food while you work, half the wages the very next day after your shift. They got the table right there in the front when you walk in the store, and who knows, you may see our man John Mallory taking a bite of a quesadilla there, John.
Yeah, BJ, you caught me there. Get off of me. I'm working, BJ. But that is a terrific breakfast item. It's my new favorite fast food breakfast item, the Taco Bell breakfast quesadilla. It's outstanding. I love it. I'd eat it every day if I lived across the street from a Taco Bell. Thanks for having me. I always appreciate the free breakfast, talking a little Bronco Nation news stuff, a lot flying around.
Yeah. Back up a little bit if you don't want to be in the sun right there. Maybe move your chair back a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are excited to be here again. The Taco Bell on Broadway, courtesy of Stephen and Nicolason, Stan Nicolason, Carl Nicolason, the whole family. So we appreciate them for having us. And a busy weekend ahead, Johnny, for Boise State sports. We obviously have the football game on Saturday, a big basketball game against Clemson on Sunday, and this is always a fun time of year when the sports overlap like this.
Yeah, it is, man. And this year, even better, right? I mean, the football team's back in the national mix. If they can dodge a few bullets, a few booby traps there, they're going to be playing in a massive game with huge opportunities, and that looks on the horizon. And then the basketball team, heck yeah, man. I know they stumbled a little bit against San Francisco, worked on what they needed to work on, hopefully the other night against Corbin, and man, I mean, I don't want to say like it's going to feel like March in that arena on Sunday, but it's going to be packed, and Clemson's going to bring it. That's high-level basketball. That's going to be a high-level basketball game, and that's a game that this fan base and that program wants and needs to win, BJ. Get these resume wins in November. I'm telling you, these dividends, they end up paying you in March, adding to your resume are massive. It could be the difference of being in Dayton and on the actual line. So big opportunity. And yeah, if you're a Boise State fan, you're loving this time of year, man.
Yeah, well, again, hope you can hear us okay, see us okay. Again, we're at the Taco Bell on Broadway, and folks are coming in behind us to get their carryout orders, their mobile delivery orders, so you can do that on your app, online, and you did the little kiosk over there, and it was ready in about 30 seconds, and kind of chuckle when the lady was yelling out ball game to come pick up your order. But exciting to be here. And Johnny, let's start with football, obviously, and we're going to talk to Spencer Danielson today. We talked to Maddox Madsen yesterday, and a couple of topics I want to get into with you about this team. And let's start with Maddox. I mean, he's a guy that, even on this chat all week, we've had people saying it's time to bench him, make the switch. I mean, he's just a guy that some people, no matter what, are just not going to like. And certainly the Maddox haters have been quiet for a couple of weeks. They surfaced, out of nowhere after the rough game the other day. But talking to Maddox yesterday, what did you take away? He said he watched the film, he's worked on it. He seemed like the same kind of normal, relaxed guy, and he obviously seems confident. But how confident are you that that was kind of a one-game blip, and Maddox Madsen will bounce back on Saturday?
I don't have a ton of confidence that he's going to bounce back, and this game against San Jose is going to look more like San Diego State than last week, Nevada. I don't know. I mean, with Mad Dog, it's kind of like, okay, which doggy are you getting this game? I mean, it's looked superb. It has. He's had almost perfect games with this offense. And then he's had other games where he's dodged a few bullets and you thought, ooh, that could have been really dicey at the end. Heck, maybe they lose that game if a couple of those would have been, could have been, maybe should have been disasters ended up being so, but they weren't. For me, it's not necessarily too much about Maddox Madsen as long as he's not going to turn the ball over or get sacked, get in there and mess things completely up. It's a running team. We all know that. Mad Dog's actually been doing better in the running game. I like that incorporation. Yep. He's second on this team in rushing now, which is odd, right? I mean, I wouldn't have ever expected that with that running back room that in February, Maddox Madsen's your second leading rusher on the thing. So but no, as far as if I'm confident that he's going to bounce back, I don't know, but I don't think he's going to play poor enough for them to lose. It's a running team. It is what it is. What is he? 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, been sacked a few times. So completing over 60% of his passes. The stats maybe indicate a little more than the eye test for some people, but it is what it is. They're 8-1, feeling pretty good.
That's what Dirk Cutter said. I asked about the O-line. He said they're good enough to be 8-1. So I'd like to see more of the running game from Maddox. I want to see. How about the option? Let's run a little. Let's run the option a little bit. Pick your poison. You want to stay over on Genty? Madsen can turn it upfield and get some yardage. You want to do something there? Then he'll pitch it and get some yards. Because I've been in. I'm not going to say the run up the middle, everything, whatever. They do it for a reason. But I have been a proponent of let's get to the outside a little bit. Let's get Genty in a little space, and maybe the option would be a little chance to do that some.
Go back and watch 2012, 2013, Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. Another good example of just classic. It's funny I call it classic now. Classic read option football. Go back in 03, 04 and watch Urban Meyer operate with Alex Smith. Mike Sanford Sr. was the offensive coordinator of that team. Like real basic read option stuff. And a guy like Maddox Madsen, in my opinion, can operate that, and he is mobile enough to make you pay. Just basic read option of the edge. If he comes in, you keep it. If he comes out, you give the ball to Genty. I would like to see some incorporation of that, but I mean, if Dirk Cutter for whatever thinks, no, that wouldn't work, and here's why, then they're not going to run it. But yeah, if they could incorporate that a little more, just so where hey, if we sell out too much on Ashton, the doggy can keep it, and he's good enough to get 10-plus yards, a splash play. Madsen can give you a splash play in the running game. Not a lot of quarterbacks can.
I almost said again when I was going to preference this statement, but I did get an email from a gentleman who said that I say again way too much and that it was again bothering him. So I will work on that, sir, and I will not say that again. But
again.
I do appreciate the feedback from the emailer. But the 16 interceptions for San Jose, they are second in the nation on a defensive side. So, he's coming off a game where, let's be honest, he threw essentially 3 picks. There was one that was called back because of a penalty. There was one that they ended up changing and ruled incomplete, which surprised me a little bit. One went in the stats, but he flirted with danger a little bit. Now he's going up against a team that had 16 interceptions, but he has been a guy, and you asked him at the end of the press conference about the chip on his shoulder. Is it bigger or smaller now than it was at the beginning of the season? And he kind of thought about it for a second and said, I think it's bigger. And he does seem like a guy that whenever people want to get on him and think he's done and, this is the start of a rough stretch for him, whatever. He seems like a guy that bounces back. Won't be the easiest defense to do it again. Again, they're very, savvy in terms of getting some takeaways and interceptions, but I personally do feel like Maddox Madsen's going to be in for a bounce back game.
It feels like, okay, maybe he's one of these dudes, right? Like you kind of counted him out. You were worried about him going into the San Diego State game, and he damn near played a perfect game. You're confident about him in Nevada. Oh, Mad Dog's going to shred these guys. He doesn't play so well. Now you're worried again going into San Jose. I could see him, flipping it and playing very well again. And then this is kind of this roller coaster with him, and maybe it won't be. We're getting into the season now. Maybe it will slow down to the point. I think a lot of it, too, with the communication with the receivers could be having to get the ball out a little quicker than he'd like it sometimes because maybe the protection hasn't been there as long as it was the first 4 games. I mean, football, there's a million things that happen in like a half a second. And if a couple of those things don't go right, like the whole thing is just blown up. And that's happened there. And maybe, I don't know, you're not going to make a change. I mean, you'll make a change if they lose and Maddox Madsen has 6 turnovers, okay? Something like that, yes. But at this point, you're 8-1, and statistically speaking, you're getting probably more out of that position than you wanted, even expected going into the season. We've been told this is a running game, running offense since day one. And so far, I believe they're second or third in the nation in rushing.
Your boy Tyree giving you a shout out. My guy Ballgame has been putting in the hours. KTIK, Ball Talk, BNN Live. This is your 3rd live show in the last 18 hours or
so?
Man.
Yeah, it's been a quick turnaround, dude. But
another good Ball Talk though show. Hopefully folks will go back and check that out.
You know what I wanted to ask Coach Sanford, and I wish I did. Dang it. The putting your best corner on another team's best receiver. I'm a big believer in it.
Yep.
I think it's a great motivational tool for the player too. Like, dude, that's their guy. We want you on him. You are getting the assignment. Don't let him kill us. And I think I know Omarion McCoy. You know Omarion. We've talked to him a bunch. I think he would love an opportunity like that. And he gets to do that a lot, which is great. But I'm a big believer in that. However, it changes when you take a receiver like Nick Nash and use him in the slot as much as San Jose State does.
Yes, we'll get to the Nick Nash conversation in just a second. But I do want to thank Western Collective. Check out the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, available at Albertson Stadium, Extra Mile Arena, or your local retailers. And we will have a watch party on Saturday. Join us at 5 o'clock at the brewery out there in Garden City, just off the connector, to watch Boise State and San Jose State. And we'll have some great food and drink specials. And remember, portion of the proceeds goes to benefit the Horseshoe Collective there at Boise State. Our title sponsor is roepaint.com, roepaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's the concrete coatings for your garage, your back patio, the interior, exterior painting, they can do it all for you. Check them out, our title sponsor at roepaint.com. The live shows continue tonight, 8 o'clock. Looking forward to this. Emmanuel Ugbo and Lexus Williams will be the special guest tonight at 8 o'clock on Ball Talk, sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union. Johnny, I finally got some swag from ICCU.
It's called the Tyson Degenhardt Show, not Ball Talk.
You looked at me. You want to host tonight, too?
I want to be a guest, though. Tyson, if you're watching, brother, call me, man. I want to come on your show.
Yeah. I may not have hosted last night, but it's been a quick turnaround for me as well. So, yes, the Tyson Degenhardt Show, Ball Talk. We can talk some ball on basketball as well. ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there on your smartphone. So thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union. They're sponsoring the Tyson Degenhardt Show. And again, newcomer Emmanuel Ugbo and Coach Lexus Williams on the show tonight. on Idaho Central Credit Union. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check him out. The number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. He's doing tremendous things, and we appreciate Matt Bauscher and his team. Again, we bought and sold our home using Matt Bauscher and his team, and appreciate them because they've done great work with Team Bauscher, BauscherRealEstate.com, and Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Check them out. 13 locations around the state of Idaho. Johnny, we announced yesterday, I guess unofficially, the private jet VIP basketball experience will return.
Yes.
We haven't picked the game yet. We haven't picked the game, the date. We're still working on that, but make sure you are up to date on your subscription, and you will be eligible to win that private jet trip for 2 to a Boise State road basketball game, and that is courtesy of our friends at Ridley's Family Market. So check them out online at shopridleys.com. All right, Johnny, the sun keeps moving on us here. I may have to move the banner while you start talking, but Tequila Gus has a lot of BNN content to catch up on. You guys had a great show last night. Riley and Rid, I thought, was sneaky good. Joe Provenzano, kind of reserve linebacker, maybe not the fan, star player on the team, but Joe Pro and DJ Schramm were the guests last night, and those guys had some stories to tell. They were all great friends, you could tell, and had some good camaraderie, and it was good, clean, G-rated fun, and it was a good show last night. So back-to-back shows, and yes, go back and watch both those shows as well. And I assume that means podcasting yesterday's Idaho Sports Talk show as well.
Yep, been hammering shows out all week. We'll continue to do this week and get ready for this stretch run, man.
Looking forward to it. Should get the walk on tonight's show as well. We'll get him on soon. That was fun seeing him out there. But let's get back to the Nick Nash talk. And this was one of the topics I wanted to talk about, Johnny. He's not the same kind of receiver as a Ricky White or as a Jalen Royals. He has better stats, but he's not just the guy on the outside that's just the burner. I mean, he's more of a slot receiver. You may know this better than me. I was going to write about it today, and I haven't looked it up yet. But do you know the last time a receiver won the Triple Crown, so to speak, in college football? I don't know if it's been done or the last time it's been done. You'd think it would be like a Randy Moss type guy.
No, but off the top of my head, it would be Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech, 2009.
6, 7,
if someone
8,
wants to fact check me, if someone else has done it.
Nick Nash, I ask because he currently leads the nation in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Already has 86 receptions, already has well over 1,000 yards receiving. And, oh, by the way, he has 13 touchdowns in 9 games as well. Nick Nash, he's obviously got great stats. He's in the slot, so he gets, his yards and things different ways. Again, he had a game this year with 16 catches. Mm-hmm. Another game this year with 17 catches. What's your take on Nick Nash? And as you said, this secondary, this defense has had some trouble against the pass this year.
There'd be a lot of receivers who play on really, really good teams that would probably trade gigs with Nick Nash to have those type of numbers, still play on a team that wins more games than they lose. I mean, like you said, his catch numbers, they are Crabtree-ish, where you're like, wait, what? He caught that many damn balls. This is what kind of worries me about it. Again, I'm a believer for whatever. Take it for nothing because it's what it's worth. But I want my best corner on their best receiver as much as I can. Okay, especially on obvious they're going to pass the ball down.
Yeah.
Okay, but the issue is with this is, and I get it. If the receiver plays in the slot a lot, you don't often want your best corner lining up in the slot to guard a guy for whatever reason.
And my comeback would be why?
Yeah, that's kind of my question. Like, I don't really care. Like, it feels to me like it's not a huge adjustment just to say, here's what we're doing. Bob Beeler compared it to like a box and one in basketball. It's just, here is the assignment, whether we're in a zone or a man or a blitz, whatever scheme we're in, our DB1 is going to guard their receiver one, especially not necessarily on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 8, but an obvious passing down, maybe. And I'm not saying they won't do that. Schneider's not going to tell us his game plan. No way. Yeah. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
But if not, or maybe it's not that big a deal. It's one of those deals like, fine, if Nick Nash catches 18 balls, that means we're going to win. We're worried if he only catches 7. That means they're doing other things. It could be one of those deals like, hey, man, don't worry. If he gets his numbers, that's great. Usually they won't win as a result.
Yeah, I was not going to lie. When I heard McCoy say, well, he's in the slot, so our safeties are going to handle that. And I'm pretty confident in them. I kind of cringed a little.
Yep.
Nothing against the safeties. But I mean, you're a safety for a reason. You're further back. Your specialty is not coverage. That's what a corner specialty is. So again, I'm not taking anything away from Washington and Rodney Robinson or Oladipo or whoever it's going to be. And don't forget with Tubner out, we'll get to that in a second. That changes this a little bit. But I'm just, I guess we expect him to be out, right? I guess we expect Alexander Tubner.
That's you're going to break story there.
No, I mean, I don't think that would be breaking news. I think based on what everyone's heard this week, what we've all heard.
I'm kidding. Yeah,
I think we all expect him to be out. You'd be pleasantly surprised if he played. But with that said, again, this is not meant as a disrespectful shot at the safeties. But I was like, oh, really? Like they're going to do that? Like that's why? I mean, I get it. I totally like. If he's and that's why. I mean, it's very smart. Put your best receiver in the slot. Oh, if that just takes the corners out of it, put him in the slot every time.
That's all I have to do to get Amari on Nick Nash's butt.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to run our slot schemes because we want you against a safety rather than their best cover corner. And maybe, a lot of defenses, again, for whatever reason, damn it, I'm hanging out with you too much. I'm saying again now. These receivers, like, seriously, like, if you want to defend some of them, the best receivers, if I'm just going to put them in the slot, again, that's part of the chess. Dang it. That's the chess. That's the chess. That's the chess match.
We got fans here in the background. Appreciate you for stopping by, man.
Do you know that, dude?
I don't, actually. He said, good morning, BNN or something.
No, he came in and he was Robin Williams. He came in and he goes, good morning, Vietnam. And then he walks out, man.
He just cut through. All right. Yeah, he's getting his food. By the way, Boise, thank you, Johnny. Devontae Smith, just a couple years ago in 2020, won the Triple Crown. You were right about Crabtree in 2007. And then Jarrett Stearns from Western Kentucky in Jarrett Stearns, 2021, just a couple years ago. Is that a Sanford recruit? Jarrett Stearns, 2021. So I guess it's happened more recently than we thought.
Yeah. I mean, again, those guys
pretty rare to me. I mean, that's 3 times in the last 15 years or whatever. But usually you get one or the other: the touchdowns, the yards, the catches. Not all 3, but that's certainly a big story. But with that said, Johnny, like, is that a real concern, or is it San Jose State and we shouldn't be that concerned because it's San Jose State?
Look, if Nick Nash can single-handedly win this game, then maybe Boise State shouldn't even be thinking about the CFP, and they should be worried about a hell of a lot of other things, right? I mean, we're clinging to stuff here. If we're going to spend 10 more minutes on how do you defend Nick Nash, slot receiver, who's playing his 6th year of college football. Think about that. Nick Nash, several players, not many, actually played in the 2020 Mountain West Championship game, COVID year, neutral site, Sam Boyd Stadium.
Yep.
Nick Nash played in that game. He played corner, but I mean, okay, the guy's good, cool. I mean, they faced good receivers, hasn't been a problem. Nick Nash, I don't think, is keeping a lot of people up at night.
I don't know. Sky Ship says he's a faster Cooper Kupp.
He's not freaking Cooper Kupp, man. Anyway. He does have great stats.
Now, he has great stats.
I love him. I love him, but he's not, guys, he's not going to ruin the whole party, in my opinion. Nick Nash is going to have 27 catches for 287 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you're like, wait, what? Who's the Heisman candidate here? Oh, my gosh, what? I don't see that, man, but.
Now, I will say this. Okay, so they're top 10 in passing yards. He's going to get his. They have their 2nd in the nation in interceptions. They're undefeated at home. I know Prater's kind of said, well, they haven't played anybody at home, and that is true, but they are undefeated at home. They have a very weird environment. It is there's no fans on one of the sides. Their last home game, they only had 17,000 for the attendance, which is
probably fabricated.
Less than half of Albertson Stadium. I saw a video when they were getting ready to play, and it was Wyoming. I get it, but I mean, it was 10 minutes till kickoff, and it looked like, there wasn't many there. So there has been some talk this week about BYOJ, bring your own juice, or BYOE, bring your own energy. What do you make of just kind of this being a sleepy, trappy type game against a decently okay, kind of good, could come up and get your opponent, 2 touchdown favorites? Any worry at all about Boise State? I think no. I think they come out and play one of their best games of the year. I think that Nevada game, whether you want to call it a wake-up call, reminder, whatever you want to say, I personally feel like this team's ready to come back and bounce back and play really, really well, and it would not shock me if this is a 45-17 type game. Yeah. Any worry for you in this game? 2 touchdown favorites on the road, Boise State, everything we've talked about against San Jose.
If Boise State loses this season before a college football playoff game, I will be surprised. I will not predict it. I won't even float it out there. Like, I'm bought in hook, line, and sinker that this team with this remaining schedule is not going to stumble. We're in the building every day. I think they're focused, BJ. I think they're just better than these teams in front of them, too. I think they'll be able to handle their business. Also, Genty, now to the point, is like 3 weeks away from his injury. The arm.
Mhm.
That was like 3 weeks ago, the injury was. Maybe you get the healthiest version of Genty you've had in a month,
Oh,
and that could be
foreshadowing
scary.
here.
I keep thinking and waiting for Genty to have one of those Wazoo, Utah State, Portland State,
First carry of the
Georgia
game,
Southern
70
games where it's like,
yeah.
okay, he's just every 4
Yeah.
carries, and it doesn't matter the distance.
And-
He's going to house this. I keep kind of waiting for that to pop, and I get it. He's had a lot of carries. It does take its toll, but maybe this is that game too. No, I'm not worried. And I don't know if I said anything otherwise. Somebody had a comment, like I said last night, that I thought San Jose State was going to win. Man, I've been working a lot, and I must have been somebody must have laced something with me last night. I don't ever remember
You want to
predicting.
get that out there.
I don't ever remember predicting San Jose State to win this game. Thanks, Nick. Dang, man. I don't, but I would never have said that they're 25-point favorites.
No, it's only about 14 in this game.
You're right. It's 13 and a half, which I would like if I'm a sporting man on Boise State. I think they win this game by 2 teeters.
Now,
I do.
Blake's asking about how long before they clinch home field in the Mountain West Championship game. There is some things that have to play. I think they could maybe, since they already beat UNLV, clinch at least a spot in the game if they win this week, right?
They have 2 conference games
If they
left.
win this week, I think they might at least clinch a spot.
Okay, because they'll win the tiebreaker over UNLV.
But they have to beat Wyoming, because if Colorado State goes undefeated and they lose to Wyoming, Colorado State would host. So I think it won't be till Wyoming. But, Johnny, with that said, traditionally the Mountain West Championship game, we always love thinking ahead to things 3 weeks away. But they've always struggled to sell tickets for that game on 6 days' notice, and it's been tough. The last game is Oregon State. So Boise State will have 2 weeks. Boise State will know when they beat Wyoming, they're hosting the championship game. Do you think that extra week before Thanksgiving and then that extra week, I mean, with everything on the line, a college football playoff appearance, a national game on Fox on a Friday night this year, can they sell out the championship game?
Sell out?
Blake wants to know 7 games, 7 sellouts. What do you think?
I mean, Jeremiah Dickey loves this challenge, and does an extra week help? Hell yes. For Team Dickey, an extra week, and I don't know how much Team Dickey is involved in selling the conference championship game and how much the conference takes over and how the tickets are dispersed. I have no idea how that works, but if it's one bonus Genty game, and if you win that game, you clinch a spot in the playoffs. Think about this. I mean, it's hard to believe. You just think they're going. But if they lose the Mountain West Championship game, this whole thing is done. And then they're going to the LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium, and I can't even imagine.
Are they? Mountain West champion goes there. That'd be Colorado State.
You're right, because Colorado State wouldn't get the CFP invite.
Albuquerque for the New Mexico Bowl.
Man, that would be a buzzkill. So, yeah, I know, and I think Bronco Nation, Jeremiah Dickey, Spencer Danielson, Eshin Genty, they're going to say, Bronco Nation, we need you. This is a bonus home game. Everything is at stake.
I think they're cheaper
you
tickets
could argue,
too than the regular season.
You could argue that that's the most important home game in the history of this program, because if you win it, you go to a place that has obviously never happened before in that college football playoff opportunity to be able to clinch that at home. That hasn't happened since 2014, and even then we weren't 100% sure if they were going to get that new Year's 6 bowl bid, because that was the first year of the CFP era.
Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa. We'll keep the discussion going in a minute. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, whether it's a spa for the back patio, a pool table for the game room, a sauna, they can help you out at thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out at thespateam.com. All-wheel drive vehicles are available now at Lithia Ford of Boise. As the weather starts to get down, that ice, that snow is coming. Make sure you're ready with an F-150 or one of the great vehicles from Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online, Lithia Ford Boise, to view that full inventory of vehicles. And again, support to them, because they're one of the biggest supporters of Boise State at Lithia Ford of Boise. TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. If you're looking for a job, they can help you out. Again, whether it's the trucking industry. Stop hitting me, Johnny. You're messing me up here. Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out. Transcompservice.com. They can help you get into the trucking industry. All the permits and things you need. They can get you towing that first load in no time. Speaking of Ashton Genty, how about some new Ashton Genty gear? The blue and orange store, they can help you out. The second floor there next to Pro Image, the Boise Town Square Mall, 2 full racks and shelving units right there in the middle of the store just with Ashton Genty gear. Check it out, Ashton Genty gear online, available as well at the blueandorangestore.com. But again, you can now help put some money back in Ashton Genty's pocket by purchasing some gear at the Blue and Orange store for Ashton Genty. And maybe Monday we'll get the Ahmed Hassanin sack, 91 cents, gets you a coffee or fountain drink. But Johnny, I think this is the week. Tuesday, we get for the second time this season the Breezy Bundle, and that'll be at Jackson's. So you can get a hot dog and a soda for $1 at Jackson's if Breezy Dubar gets into the end zone this weekend. And that'll be at our friends at Jackson's. And don't forget, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Boise State. And speaking of food, make sure you check out Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out. 10,000 plus combinations. Great eating healthy options, and loving our relationship with Lean Feast. And Johnny, loving to be here as well at Taco Bell. Next time you start talking, I'm going to go move that banner so the sun's not in our eyes again. But final thought or two on football. I want to switch to basketball for a minute. But by the way, BYU fans are loving me right now when I made that comment about Kalani Sitake. Joel Klatt doesn't even have – Joel Klatt, did he go to Colorado?
Yes, he did.
Okay, and Big Noon Kickoff and all this has been at Colorado, like 3 or 4 games already this year.
Track.
He is hyping up – Fox and in particular Joel Klatt are hyping up Travis Hunter hard for the Heisman, and they're hyping up Deion Sanders hard for Coach of the Year. He had a list today with the 4 Coach of the Year candidates and did not even have Kalani Sitake on the list, and somehow had Deion Sanders on the list. Again, not trying to criticize anybody in particular, but to have a list of national Coach of the Year candidates, and you can not like BYU, you can say what you want about them. I know a lot of people listening on here could care less about BYU, but you cannot have a Coach of the Year list, in my opinion, without Kalani Sitake somewhere on the list. And again, nothing against Deion Sanders, but they have no ranked wins and 2 losses. He might be on my top 10 list. I'm not sure he's top 5, and I certainly don't know if he should be ahead of Kalani Sitake.
My list has 2 coaches on it right now, Indiana and BYU. I think those are the 2 finest jobs I've seen this year, and you can pick everybody apart. Indiana's strength of schedule is 103, and they're in the Big Ten. I don't know how that happens. Looks like BJ's going to adjust this thing here, but that's my list. I don't know what you guys have. Kalani Sitake, their over-under win total going into the season, I think was 3.5, 4.5. No, they had that covered by September. The SMU win. SMU's darn near a playoff team. Frankly, I think they should be a playoff team. You can't sell me that Miami has a better resume. They just have a better logo, more history, and they've been a hell of a lot more cool. That's why they're in this tournament to me over SMU. BYU, Kalani Sitake, Indiana, just say it. Not Jake Coletti. Him and
talking about?
No, the Indiana head coach,
Signetti,
Kurt Signetti. I think that's the list.
Yeah.
And I think Deion's got 2 losses, man, and he's doing a hell of a job though.
Yeah. And I like Kalani Sitake, and he should be 1A, like you said. But I think right now, any list where Kurt Signetti is not first, they very well may lose this weekend to Ohio State bad. You change your mind. But right now, in the Big Ten, they're undefeated, and him coming over and how bad they've been in recent years, I think Kurt Signetti has got to be the top of your list. People are throwing out Spencer Danielson. Yeah, if you're doing a top 10, top 15 list, he's doing a heck of a job this year, no doubt. But Boise State came into this season expected to be pretty good.
Who's BYU, Coach of the Year in the Mountain West for you?
Oh, it's got to be Danielson, I think.
Not Niamatalola, 1 year, 1 there.
The voters usually go with whoever, for the most part, who wins the championship.
Agree.
If you can get San Jose to the championship game, then maybe, but I don't think they can get there.
I think it's Danielson too.
I think it's probably got to be Spencer, and yeah, I think he's certainly on the list. But they were, you also have to take into account where the teams were, and I get it. That's not fair. Just because they were supposed to be good coming into the year, that shouldn't put them out of contention. Like a Dan Lanning, they were supposed to be good. They're undefeated. Yeah, I get it. He should still be, he should certainly have an opportunity there. But I think that Sitake and Signetti. But, we talk about the Heisman, and I'm sitting here, Johnny, looking at flight prices. Like, is it worth it? Do I go to New York for the Heisman ceremony?
Yeah,
Are other media going to go?
Yeah.
Do you go if he's going to finish 3rd, 4th? Like, we're trying to figure out where he's going to finish and these odds and everything. And that's why I do think you mentioned this week would be a real nice time for them to win big and him to have another big game against San Jose to kind of push himself back into the mix of this. But it just seems like the hype, particularly from guys like Joel Klatt and Fox. I mean, Joel Klatt went off saying on his show this week, they're not giving it to a group of 5 running back over someone like a Travis Hunter who plays both sides of the ball. And he's just saying it matter of fact, it's not happening.
Wow.
I just, this media hype with Hunter, I just wonder if that's going to be too much for a guy like Ashton Genty to overcome here.
I mean, Genty is going to have to come back with the September Saturday night internet social media splash.
He's gonna have to
plays.
break Barry Sanders' record
Or challenge it. You know, he's way ahead of the competition. Like, it's not just about stats with the Heisman. It's about moments. It's about the spectacular. It's about standing out. It's about people at the water cooler talking about you. We've seen players win Heismans like on one game or even one play. Doug Flutie won the Heisman on one play. A lot of players have been in that situation. Johnny Manziel won the Heisman in one game. He went to Tuscaloosa in November, slayed the Saban Dragon, ended up taking that to the Heisman. Desmond Howard had the punt return, when the first person to ever say, "Hello, Heisman." Keith Jackson was on the call for that game against Ohio State. I remember watching it. That was his Heisman moment. Genty's had some of those, which helps. He needs to keep adding Heisman moments to this resume where the voters are just like, dude, I don't care where he plays. And he plays at Boise State. Okay, don't be Mr. Colorado over there like, Colorado. Boise State's done a hell of a lot more in football
like
than Colorado since 1990.
It's not like he's doing this at Utah State.
So I think there's going to be a case with a lot of voters if Genty keeps adding to this where they're just like, dude, that's the best player in the country. Like me, and I know I cover him and I'm real close to the situation, but I still see Genty winning the Heisman just because I think he's the best player in the country. And I think Cam Ward is damn near out. Lost a game at Miami. I think like Sanford, Shedeur Sanders. Okay, if you want the long shot play, put a couple bucks on Shedeur. I think he can play his way in this and steal a moment if he has 500 yards passing and 5 touchdowns in the Big 12 championship game or this week or something like that. And certainly, guys, Boise State fans, if Travis Hunter has a pick 6 and an 85-yard touchdown reception in the same game, those are 2 hello Heisman moments. That'll be tough for Genty to counterattack on that. It's going to be a fun race, man.
Hey, we'll take your Signature Roofing voicemails. Send them into the Signature Roofing voicemail inbox, speakpipe.com/BNN. Anytime you want to leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on a morning show, play it on a pregame show, but particularly Saturday night on the postgame show. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Get your thoughts, and you can call into Johnny and Prater on Bronco game night, and then when they're done, you can leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voicemail line. Don't forget, Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. They can do re-roofs, repairs, estimates, free inspections. Great local company. They got an NIL deal with RJ Keene. We got some content coming with them soon, but check them out online, mysignatureroofing.com. Johnny, you want to give us one quick thought on the college football playoff rankings here and any games moving forward here? I know a lot of folks listening right now are buying their Kansas Jayhawks gear for this weekend.
Oh, man, I actually think Kansas will beat BYU. I'll go on the record with that, BJ, not because you went there, just because I think they are due, and I think BYU is also due. But my ultimate thoughts on this bracket is, wow, how about that Big Ten? Look at this. Not one Big Ten team will play a true road game in this tournament. Ohio State hosts Boise, Penn State hosts Ole Miss, and IU in Bloomington gets Bama, okay? Not to mention the next round, Oregon. That's a neutral site. That is a huge advantage. Like, I can't stress enough, and we don't know this tournament yet, and we obviously don't have any data, but I have a hard time believing that the home team is going to lose a lot of these games. It is as you know, massive advantage to get to host that game. The difference in the 8 and 9 seed, like Notre Dame at Tennessee, if you flip that, it's an entirely different game that I would look at. If that game is played in South Bend, it's played in Tennessee, totally different. And think about this, like Bama, like Ole Miss, It might be snowing. It's certainly not going to be nice as far as the weather is concerned. Bama, Ole Miss, in program history, they have never had to play a road game, true road game in a snowstorm type of atmosphere. This tournament is bringing all these new badass rabbit holes and conversations to digest. I love this thing, and I can't wait for this sucker to start.
I want to know what happens if Georgia beats Tennessee this week.
Then they okay. Georgia,
who is out? Because the team right ahead of them, Ole Miss, they already they lost to them. Ole Miss beat Georgia, right?
So if this is all chalk, then Georgia's still out.
No. It's not going to be chalk. I'm saying what happens if Georgia wins on Saturday against Tennessee?
Okay, then the argument becomes Tennessee or Ole Miss. Right now, BJ, as you can see.
So you think a 2-loss Tennessee could go from number 8 or number 7 in the rankings to all the way out?
That's a possibility. But, man, here's where I would think it would probably be. It would come down to Tennessee and Ole Miss. Right now, Ole Miss
just beat Georgia.
They're the last team in, BJ. They're the 11 seed.
They just beat Georgia 2 weeks ago. Shouldn't that matter for something?
Absolutely. So say Ole Miss stays in and they move up. Say Bama moves down to 11, and then you get a Tennessee versus Bama 2-loss SEC
Could Notre Dame
argument.
be out? Could Notre Dame be out?
I'm not going to dare or test the committee to put a 1-loss Notre Dame out of this thing. And they're the 9 seed. They're kind of secure right now. If they win, I don't think they drop the whole way out. You're saying if Tennessee loses, they're on the 8 line. Where will they drop?
If Georgia beats Tennessee, Georgia has to move into the field.
I agree.
With 2 losses?
I agree.
Boise State's got the group of 5. Boise State right now has a guaranteed spot. Miami or a ACC team has a guaranteed spot. BYU or the Big 12 has a guaranteed spot. Not saying buys, but they have a spot in the field. So that's 3 spots taken right there. Which of the Big 10 teams is falling out? If Indiana gets crushed by Ohio State, are they falling all the way from 5 to out of the tournament?
No way. Like, Indiana is crazy. Think about this. They have 2 games left, Ohio State and Purdue. By the way, that Ohio State game, I think, is the following week.
Who won, Alabama or Georgia?
Alabama beat Georgia.
And what about Alabama versus Ole Miss?
And Alabama, have they played Ole Miss, guys?
I don't know yet.
If not, they beat Ole Miss.
Maybe Alabama's out.
Yes, then Alabama's the next team out. Like the first team out would be Ole Miss.
I don't think that can be the case.
So then
Ole Miss just beat Georgia. How can you all of a sudden take Ole Miss out and put Georgia in?
Because head-to-head is a thing. It's not the thing. And that's the biggest argument with this. People will shred that constantly because they'll want the head-to-head to always determine who goes, but the committee looks at like several other things too. Head-to-head is a massive advantage, but there are other instances. I don't know what they're going to do, BJ. Will one of these other teams lose? But yeah, Indiana, think about that. 2 games left. They're 10-0. They play at Ohio State and then they host Purdue. If they go 1-1, they're 11-1. Indiana is comfortable in this thing. At the 7 seed. That shocked me with the 103 strength of schedule. Yeah. But the committee loves Indiana, and it's their call. And Indiana has breathing room. These SEC teams, like you're mentioning, Tennessee a little bit with 1 loss, Ole Miss, Bama, they cannot lose again, as you know. They
can't all get in. Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Tennessee. One of them has to be out. Yeah. They cannot make it.
And think about A&M. They're not even on the first out, and they can still play themselves back in.
Give me one thought. I'll keep this going by myself for a few minutes. I know you got to get going. You got your big meeting and everything coming up, but give me a basketball thought. Clemson on Sunday. We're going to talk to Leon Rice later today. Obviously, last year they played them. Tough one there on the road, going to Clemson. Clemson goes to the Elite Eight. Clemson very easily, Johnny, not very easily, but the buyout was manageable. Clemson could have said, you know what, heck with this. We're not coming all the way to Boise, Idaho to play you. Clemson stuck with it. They're coming on Sunday. It's a top, 35 Ken Palm team, a quad 1 type game.
Yes.
A team that was in the Elite Eight last year with a number of key players back. They're 3-0 and looking pretty good. I know some folks are a little disappointed. 11:30 a.m. on a Sunday, not a prime time, basketball scene. But
it's okay.
Your thoughts on Clemson coming to town on Sunday?
Opportunity for a big win. You said that quad 1. These are the wins you will look back on in reference like every day in late February when you were fighting for your team's resume. You'll go back and you'll say, hey, the Clemson win. Hey, they're 3rd in the ACC right now. They beat Duke. They beat Clemson. So, that, you know how big these opportunities are. Plus, it'll be a sellout and a chance for this crowd to root for their teams again and fire up the community for basketball and, win a big non-con home game. Always always a great opportunity. And you know this, and Leon talks about it. It's really hard to schedule these big teams to come play a true road game here. They just don't want to do it. College basketball coaches just don't want to play road games. Why? Well, ask Leon about USF early on in the season. They don't want to do it. And Clemson's doing it, like you said. So I can't wait to watch that thing. And is Clemson favored 1 or 2, 3? Is there a line yet that you've seen?
Ken Palm has Boise State by 2.
Okay, so Boise State, it'll be a close spread.
Yeah.
Boise State favored by 1, Clemson favored by 1. So I think fans will get their money's worth. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, and you're right about the thing. I mean, going on the road, if Boise State had already played another road game or something and they play San Francisco again, like if they go right now back to San Francisco again this week, it's a totally different game in my opinion. So Clemson playing 3 home games against 3 cupcakes, as you call them, cream puff Cupcake State. Now they come all the way out. Clemson to Boise. That's not an easy trip.
I know.
And they're coming all the way across the country for a Sunday morning game too. I mean,
it's weird. You're right.
I could see. If the crowd gets into it and they play well, I could see Boise State having a really nice kind of statement type win. But they're going to need the bench to keep playing well. Our guy Keene and some of these guys Ugbo to continue to play well. The guards off the bench, but. In the San Francisco game, we saw Alvaro Cardenas get into foul trouble. I think this year, Cardenas and Degenhart are the 2 keys. Stay on the floor, play their 35 minutes, and they're going to have a chance if they can do that. But we're going to see Johnny at Extra Mile Arena on Sunday?
100%.
You know it's a big game if he's not watching NFL football, and he's coming to Extra Mile Arena on Sunday.
I'll be there.
You'll be there, Johnny. We appreciate you for stopping by, man, and we'll see you down there pretty soon. I'm going to keep the show going here for a few minutes, and I'm not in a hurry, so I'll keep it going, but I know Johnny's got things to do, places to see, and his obligations to KTIK Radio. So we appreciate all you guys for checking us out again. If you got a comment or a thought, let us know. We are here at Taco Bell on Broadway, right near the stadium. And again, the sausage breakfast crunch wrap, 2 Cinnabon Delights or a hash brown and a medium drink or coffee. The breakfast crunch wrap combo is just $6.89 at Taco Bell. You see some of the other great breakfast options they've got on the menu as well, whether it's the breakfast quesadilla, the toasted breakfast burrito, all kinds of options at breakfast for breakfast at Taco Bell. And maybe you don't think Taco Bell breakfast when you're thinking about breakfast, but you really should. I highly recommend the breakfast at Taco Bell. And the big thing with them is they are hiring. Taco Bell is hiring. So again, if you're looking for a job, they have great wages. You get half the pay out the next day after your shift. In some instances, you can get various things in terms of free food while you work. And so great opportunities. And there's our man, Johnny Mallory, earlier today getting his breakfast. But again, highly recommend Taco Bell. I'm sporting the SON management hat here. So we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. And we've had a nice steady stream of people coming in here and getting their to-go orders, their mobile orders. I know some folks were doing DoorDash and things like that, but they've got the kiosk right behind me. Right there is the kiosk. So a couple of kiosks you can order quickly, and Johnny did that, and his food was ready in like 45 seconds. So, and that was kind of enjoyable, actually, to hear the lady yell ball game a couple of times, very confused. And then Johnny kind of reluctantly walked up to get his food. But again, appreciate everybody for having us out here. We are having fun at Taco Bell. Nick says BSU needs a faster start against Clemson, cannot fall behind by 10. This BSU team can score. Only major issue seems to be perimeter D isn't great, a little slow. We'll see if that is we'll see if that ends up being an issue or not. Again, when you're 2 games in, I really hesitate to make big things one way or the other. I was even trying to say it after the Clemson game, like, let's not go too crazy. This was one game against Clemson or against Oakland. But again, it's certainly a situation where it's a big game and they could certainly use a win. And we will talk to our man Leon Rice. We'll talk to Spencer Danielson. Big day of interviews today. We got Spencer Danielson coming up. We're going to talk to Tyler Stockton as well, the safeties coach, co-defensive coordinator. That'll be about an hour from now. And then we'll have basketball interviews after practice about 2 o'clock. So we've got Brian Downing checking in next door to Taco Bell, Broadway Insurance Services of Idaho, huge Bronco supporter and a BNN subscriber. Go Broncos. Brian, I don't remember if it was you that I met or somebody else, but last time we were here, somebody stopped by and mentioned something about that. So appreciate that. And there you go. Free plug for Insurance Services of Idaho. I did see that. Boise State flipping a San Diego State commit. I did see that. I don't have the name in front of me. I apologize. But, that was nice to see Boise State get get a commit there, and they continue to roll in the commits. And actually, one of the things I'm looking forward to talking to Spencer Danielson about today is I saw that some schools are now providing contracts for revenue sharing along with contracts for NIL when they're signing players. I heard the San Diego State athletic director say that. So I am curious if Boise State, now that they're getting these commits and these signings, if they're going to be offering contracts in terms of revenue sharing type stuff, or if they're going to just stick with NIL or how that's all going to work moving forward here until the House settlement goes through potentially in April or May, I think it is. So Jaden Williams was the name of the commit. So there you go, Jaden Williams, and congratulations to him, and nice get for Boise State there. All right, somebody was asking about Breezy Dubar. He got hurt, I believe. Was it the Portland State game? Let's see here. Terrible high ankle sprain or a broken ankle, needs to redshirt. Such talent can't be wasted on 3 to 4 games. And then somebody asked about, can he redshirt? You can play in 4 regular season games, and then you get extra games added in for the conference championship and for the playoff that do not count. So I believe, was he injured in the Portland State game? I believe it was the Portland State game. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's the case, that's 3 games. He could come back for the Oregon State game, and then he could play in the rest of the season from the Oregon State game on and still get his traditional red shirt, not a medical red shirt, because you can play in 4 games in red shirt as a true freshman. Again, they do not count the conference championships or the college football playoff or bowl games as part of that number. So you get 4 regular season games, and then you can still redshirt. I believe it was the Portland State game, the 3rd game of the season, that Sire Gaines got hurt. He says Portland State game. So that means he could come back theoretically for the there goes another gentleman taking his food order out. Theoretically, he could come back for the Oregon State game, but I don't know if I don't necessarily know if he's ready yet. So I don't think that's yep. Tequila Gus is correct. One more correct, like a CFP. No, that's actually probably not. He can get 1 more regular season game, and then he is able to play in the postseason. That will not count. So he could come back for the Oregon State game and then play the rest of the season. I don't know if it's necessarily Boise State just holding him out for that, though. I don't know if he's ready yet. I mean, I think that I think there was some videos of him recently not in the boot anymore, not on the cart, but I don't know if he's been practicing or not, or we're not supposed to say some of that. So I don't know if he's necessarily ready to go and they're just waiting. I don't even know if he'll be ready to go by the Oregon State game, but if he were to be back, just even say by the Mountain West Championship game to give you a couple carries, that would be just a massive development for this team to be able to just give a carry or 2 to somebody else, so you can get a little bit of a break for a guy like Ashton Genty. One extra play here and there. Illinois only beat Oakland by 12 last night. That's a good result there. Well, I think Illinois is going to be a quality Big Ten team. I know Oakland plays Kansas coming up too, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Gaines is better than Dubar. Would be a huge get to get him back. Yeah, but don't sleep on Breezy Dubar. I think that him being hurt in the one game he came back or has played a little, hasn't done much yet. Like, don't sleep on Breezy Dubar. He was actually ahead of Gaines going into the season. I think Breezy Dubar is going to be a solid contributor here for this program for a long time, the next couple of years for sure. And so I would not sleep on Breezy Dubar just because he's been hurt and hasn't done much. If you get a healthy Breezy Dubar out there, he certainly is a guy that can contribute to this team and be a guy that can do some things for them. So I would not sleep on Breezy. I think he has a chance. I'm not sure if they're both healthy, who's better, whatever, but I think Breezy Dubar is certainly a guy that is capable of contributing to this team moving forward here. So again, appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal gets you that promo code $50 for a full year at Bronco Nation News. And again, you just watched. You're still watching a 54-minute free show on YouTube here. So at a minimum, come down here and support sponsors like Taco Bell. You're looking for breakfast, you're looking for a spot for lunch today, come on down to Taco Bell. We're at the Broadway location right here near Albertson Stadium. So come on down, get some breakfast, get some lunch, and support the sponsors, folks. Taco Bell, the SON Management Group, Nicolason family is one of our biggest sponsors at Bronco Nation News. So if you like the content, you like the free shows that you're watching on YouTube, the only way this thing can continue is with great sponsors like Taco Bell. So next time you're looking for a quick meal, they've got healthy options as well. I had the Cantina Bowl. I just subbed in some lettuce for the rice and was able to make that keto style. So they have a lot of healthy options, a lot of different tasty, delicious options. My kids, when they found out I was was doing the show today, they wanted to come down and get the slushies. And I said, no, you got school, but maybe we'll go back after school and get another one. So my kids love coming here. So Dennis says, always grateful. Have a great day. So we got a lot going on. Again, tonight at 8 o'clock, we will have, there you go, Todd says the Cantina Bowl is solid. Yes, it is. Really, really enjoy that. So tonight at 8 o'clock, we will have the Tyson Degenhardt Show, our third live evening show here in the last 2 days. But the Tyson Degenhardt Show will be back at 8 o'clock tonight. And really looking forward to this. Emmanuel Ugbo is going to be the special guest. We'll talk about his journey coming from overseas, what that was like, how he found Boise State, and what he's looking forward to doing as a contributor this year. I mean, this guy's got a very interesting story in terms of already playing, in some leagues overseas and now coming back and dealing with eligibility issues and things. So Leon Rice said in the postgame he was very worried about the eligibility issues with him and was super happy to get him eligible. So that tells you all you need to know about how excited they are to have him. But we'll have Emmanuel Ugbo and also Lexus Williams, assistant coach, will join us on the show tonight as well. We'll have some fun with Lexus and Emmanuel. Again, 8 o'clock tonight, the Tyson Degenhardt Show. That is sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union. So we'll make sure you watch that tonight. And if you want to go back and watch any of last night's shows, 2 great shows last night. As I mentioned, we had Riley and Rid. They had Joe Provenzano and DJ Schramm as the special guests. And then Sanford and Johnny were on last night as well. So head on back and watch those shows last night on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. You can watch all the interviews with Maddox Madsen, Zion Washington, some of the players that we've been posting on the YouTube channel. We get Tyler Stockton and Spencer Danielson today. So we'll have both those coaches' interviews up around noon or so. Leon Rice is talking around 2 o'clock. We'll get that up. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now on this YouTube channel here on Bronco Nation News so you can make sure you get all of our, interviews, press conferences, highlights, all that stuff that just gets dumped to the YouTube channel. Then you'll know when the new videos get posted. And as I said, the Tyson Degenhardt Show tonight, and then Jay Tuss tonight, tomorrow. We'll be with you before we fly out to San Jose for the game on Saturday, and then we'll hurry back on Sunday. And I've been letting folks know, but we will not. We're going to have a taped pregame show on Sunday, but we'll be back live with the postgame show because I do not arrive in Boise till about halftime of that Clemson game, and so we'll get to Extra Mile Arena as soon as we can, and hopefully be in for a good second half there, Boise State and Clemson. But that early 11:30 game didn't do any help for those of us in the media trying to get back from San Jose. So again, appreciate everybody here at Taco Bell for having us. The Nicolason family, Stan, Steven, everybody there, we appreciate it. And again, if you're looking for a place to work, it's an awesome work environment. They're hiring, and again, you get free food while you work, half the wages the next day after your shift, and just been a friendly morning, fun morning talking to some of the staff members and stuff. So if you're looking for a new job, a new opportunity with great promotional opportunities and a lot of great benefits, I highly recommend checking out one of the Treasure Valley freestanding Taco Bell locations. And again, the Nicolason family, SON Management, they've done a ton in terms of donating money back to Boise State, and with the scholarships and things they're doing. Obviously had their name on the arena for a long time, so they're still giving a ton of money to Boise State through some endowed scholarships and things, and the local community. So return the favor next time you're looking for a meal, quick meal. I know probably half the people listening drive right by this Taco Bell location every day, so go ahead and stop off, get some food, and you will not be disappointed. And again, the breakfast, people kind of sleep on the breakfast a little bit here at Taco Bell, but it's a delicious breakfast, and they've got that breakfast crunch wrap combo going right now, just $6.89 for the sausage breakfast crunch wrap, 2 Cinnabon Delights, a hash brown, and a medium drink or coffee for just $6.89. So we'll see you at Taco Bell. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight for the Tyson Degenhardt Show. And again, Spencer Danielson and Leon Rice talking today. We'll get those posted to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight for the Tyson Degenhardt Show. And then we'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Jay Tuss and myself, as we get you set for a big weekend. Football, basketball, 2 big opportunities, 2 big chances. Should be a fun weekend. Hopefully they can get 2 wins for you guys, and then hopefully the dream scenario, they get a big win over San Jose State, and then you guys flip over and watch my Kansas Jayhawks take down BYU for you. That would certainly be a fun Saturday evening, and then you can wake up Sunday and whether it's a Bloody Mary or a Diet Coke or whatever your preference is, you can get over at Extra Mile Arena and party it up for the Boise State Clemson game. So should be a fun couple of days. Excited to get down to San Jose, and then excited to get back for the Clemson game. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Stan and Steven and everybody at the SON Management Group for having us here at Taco Bell. And again, hopefully we'll see you at a Taco Bell real soon. And we'll see you tonight, 8 o'clock, the Tyson Degenhardt Show. Again, Tyson Degenhardt, his guests, Lexus Williams and Emmanuel Ugbo. And we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.